After years of pressure, promises, and public demand, the moment finally arrived. The U.S. Department of Justice released the first tranche of documents tied to Jeffrey Epstein, following a law passed by Congress ordering the files to be made public in full. Thousands of pages appeared, but many were heavily redacted. Entire sections were blacked out, key details were missing, and within a day, some files vanished from the DOJ website altogether. What was meant to feel like transparency began to feel controlled. Which brings us to the question now hanging over Washington, Hollywood, and beyond. Is this real transparency or a carefully managed release designed to limit the damage? Almost immediately, the rollout hit turbulence. The U.S. Department of Justice acknowledged it could not meet the congressional deadline to release the Epstein files in full, despite the law clearly mandating complete disclosure. What was released raised even more eyebrows. More than 500 pages were entirely blacked out, not partially redacted, completely unreadable. Police reports, investigative material, even documents tied to grand jury proceedings appeared with page after page reduced to solid black. Then came another twist. At least 13 files quietly disappeared from the DOJ website within a day of publication. The department later said the files were removed to protect victims' privacy, following concerns raised by victims' rights groups. But here's the problem: the law allows redactions, only if they're explained. So far, no formal explanations have been provided. That lack of clarity has angered lawmakers on both sides of the aisle, who argue this wasn't what Congress voted for. What was supposed to calm speculation has done the opposite. And in that vacuum, every name and every image suddenly carried explosive weight. Before the speculation runs wild, one critical point has to be made clear. Being named, mentioned, or even photographed in these files does not mean someone committed a crime. Jeffrey Epstein spent decades moving through elite circles, politics, royalty, finance, and entertainment. He attached himself to powerful people, attended high-profile events, and collected photographs, many of which may have had nothing to do with his crimes. Several individuals appearing in these documents have already denied any involvement in wrongdoing. In many cases, there are no accusations from victims, no charges, and no evidence beyond proximity or a shared photograph. That distinction matters because images and names can suggest association, but they do not establish guilt. Still, once those names became public, attention shifted fast. One of the most talked about names in the first release was Bill Clinton, driven largely by a set of photographs. The newly released images show Clinton swimming in a pool and reclining in what appears to be a hot tub. According to his team, the photos date back to the 1990s and early 2000s, years before Jeffrey Epstein was first arrested. Crucially, no survivor of Epstein's abuse has ever accused Clinton of wrongdoing. Clinton himself has repeatedly denied knowing about Epstein's criminal activity. But the release didn't stop there. Clinton's spokesman issued a sharp response, accusing the U.S. Department of Justice of protecting someone or something by withholding the remaining files. He argued that partial releases only fuel insinuations rather than transparency, and demanded that all documents be made public immediately. The reaction quickly turned political. Online, MAGA-aligned accounts and Trump-linked platforms circulated Clinton's images aggressively, framing him as the central figure, even as questions grew over why so much material remains unseen. And as attention locked onto Clinton, another name, the current president, began surfacing in the files. The files include references to the current U.S. president, Donald Trump, though far fewer than many expected. One court document describes an allegation that Jeffrey Epstein introduced Trump to a 14-year-old girl at Mar-a-Lago in the 1990s. According to the filing, Epstein made a remark about the girl, Trump allegedly smiled and nodded, and the girl later said she felt uncomfortable at the time. Here's the key point. The victim makes no accusation against Trump in that filing. Across the thousands of pages released, Trump appears only sparingly. A handful of photos exist, and even those were briefly removed before being re-uploaded, further fueling online speculation. The Trump administration responded by emphasizing transparency, pointing to the release of thousands of pages and cooperation with congressional oversight. Trump has also acknowledged that he was friends with Epstein years ago, saying the relationship ended around 2004, well before Epstein's first arrest. Still, the political fallout was immediate. Pro-Trump accounts pushed images of Bill Clinton, while critics circulated Trump-related excerpts, turning the files into instant political ammunition rather than clarity. And beyond U.S. politics, the documents also pulled in powerful figures from overseas. Among the international figures appearing in the release is Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, a name long tied to Epstein-related scrutiny. One photo in the newly released files appears to show Andrew lying across several people, whose faces have been redacted. Standing behind them in the image is Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's convicted co-conspirator. Notably, Epstein himself does not appear in the photograph. The image offers no date, no location, and no context, only proximity. Prince Andrew has repeatedly denied any wrongdoing connected to Epstein and has stated that he did not see, witness, or suspect any behavior that later led to Epstein's arrest and conviction. Still, his past association has carried serious consequences, including lasting public fallout and the loss of royal duties. Once again, the files highlight a recurring theme. Appearance alongside Epstein-linked figures can raise questions, even when proof remains absent. The entertainment world also features prominently in this first release, and it's the widest mix of celebrity names seen in any Epstein document dump so far. Photos in the files show Michael Jackson, Mick Jagger, Diana Ross, and actor Chris Tucker appearing in various images connected to Epstein. What's missing, however, is context. In many cases, there's no clear information on where the photos were taken, when they were shot, or why the people were together. Some previously released Epstein images have even turned out to be photos he didn't take himself, from events he may not have attended. One image shows Epstein standing beside Michael Jackson, Epstein in a zip-up hoodie, Jackson in a suit. Another group photo features Jackson, Bill Clinton, and Diana Ross, with several faces around them redacted. Chris Tucker appears in multiple images, one seated next to Clinton at a dining table, another showing him on an airport tarmac with Ghislaine Maxwell. So far, there are no allegations tied to these appearances. Media outlets have reached out to several of the celebrities for comment, while Clinton's team has again emphasized that these are decades-old images. But as striking as celebrity photos are, the files don't stay in that realm for long. Buried among the documents is one of the earliest and most disturbing accounts tied to Jeffrey Epstein, and it predates his arrest by years. A 1996 FBI report details allegations from an artist who worked for Epstein. In the files, her name is redacted, but she has since confirmed that the account is hers, Maria Farmer. Farmer told investigators that Epstein had stolen personal photographs she took of her younger sisters, aged 12 and 16, and that she believed he sold those images to potential buyers. In the report, she also said Epstein asked her to photograph young girls at swimming pools. When she threatened to speak out, the report alleges Epstein responded with intimidation, including a threat to burn her house down if she told anyone. For decades, her warnings went largely ignored. Now, nearly 30 years later, Farmer says seeing these records made public feels like long-delayed validation. She says she feels redeemed. Despite the scale of this release, it's only a fraction of what exists. The U.S. Department of Justice has confirmed that several 100,000 pages of Epstein-related material are still under review, with potentially hundreds of thousands more yet to be released. Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche says every page is being vetted to protect victims' identities, arguing that speed cannot come at the cost of safety. Judges have also ordered the department to consult victims or victims' rights groups if concerns are raised, a process that has already led to files being pulled and re-uploaded. But there's a problem. No timeline has been given for full disclosure, and patience on Capitol Hill is wearing thin. Lawmakers from both parties are openly questioning whether the DOJ is complying with the law at all. Some, including Ro Khanna and Thomas Massie, have warned that impeachment or even prosecution could be on the table if delays continue. So the story doesn't end with what we've seen. It hangs on what remains hidden. After thousands of pages, dozens of headlines, and endless speculation, one truth stands out. These files have raised more questions than answers. The balance between protecting victims and delivering public accountability remains unresolved. So does the uncomfortable reality that power, wealth, and influence can delay justice. Sometimes for decades. What we're seeing now isn't the end of the Epstein story. It's another chapter, incomplete, contested, and still unfolding. More documents are coming. More scrutiny is inevitable. And until everything is fully released, suspicion will continue to fill the gaps left behind. For now, the question remains open. Was this transparency or theater? If you want to stay updated as this story develops, drop your thoughts in the comments, like the video, subscribe to Papaya Room, and hit the bell icon so you don't miss what comes next.